The Rotunda. The 30-foot dome in the Rotunda is located inside the Capitol, directly under an exterior skylight on the A-line roof. The dome was added to the building in 1794, 6 years after it was first occupied. Jefferson made no reference to a dome in his first written description for this central space, which he called the conference room. Whether adding the dome was a later idea of Jefferson's, or a modification made by Samuel Doby, the actual builder of the Capitol, remains unknown. It is known that Jefferson intended for a statue of Washington to be placed on this spot. The artwork in the four corners of the ceiling near the base of the dome shows alternating depictions of the Virginia state seal and a Roman fasces, a bundle of rods tied around the shaft of an axe, which was used by the ancient Romans to symbolize unity and civic authority. In 1784, the Virginia General Assembly commissioned a marble bust of the Marquis de Lafayette and a marble statue of George Washington, with the intent that the statuary would be placed in the new Capitol as symbols of public virtue from the old and the new worlds. These two statues were done from life by renowned French sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon. Lafayette was voted a citizen of Virginia by an act of assembly in 1785 for his valuable services on behalf of the Commonwealth of Virginia during the American Revolution. His bust was received from France in 1789. In 1930, the Virginia General Assembly authorized the placing of 7 marble busts in the Rotunda as a Virginia Hall of Presidents. Virginia is known as the mother of presidents, with 8 of her sons, including Washington, serving in that office. Jefferson's bust, a copy by Attilio Piccirilli of an original done from life by Houdon, was the gift of a group of French citizens. The other busts were gifts from Virginia citizens, their placement authorized by the Virginia General Assembly in 1930. These busts depict Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, Zachary Taylor, Woodrow Wilson, and the Marquis de Lafayette. A magnificent life-size marble statue of George Washington stands under an interior dome in the 2-story rotunda, located in the central portion of the Capitol. In June 1784, the Virginia General Assembly commissioned this statue of the finest marble and best workmanship as a tribute to Virginia's most respected citizen soldier. Governor Benjamin Harrison wrote to Thomas Jefferson, who was serving on a diplomatic mission in Paris, requesting that he engage a sculptor. Jefferson secured the services of Jean-Antoine Houdon, a noted French artist. In the fall of 1785, just as Charles-Louis Clearaceau was completing the plans for the Capitol, Houdon insisted on visiting Mount Vernon to study George Washington. During a 2-week stay in October 1785, he made a plaster mask of Washington's face, took detailed measurements of his body, and modeled a terracotta bust. The original terracotta bust remains at Mount Vernon, and the mask is at the Pierpont Morgan Library in New York. The statue, sculpted in France from fine Carrara marble, bears Houdon's signature and the date 1788. As Virginia's capital was under construction when the statue was completed, shipment to America was delayed until the building was ready. In the interim, it was exhibited at the Louvre in Paris. 3 cases containing the statue and pedestal were shipped from France in January 1796 and arrived in Richmond in early May. The statue was erected in the Rotunda May 14, 1796. It still stands on the spot it was placed and has been on nearly continuous display since 1796. The statue was viewed by many of Washington's contemporaries, all of whom attested it was a perfect likeness. The general was received at the Capitol, built in imitation of a square house at Nîmes, and welcomed in a speech by Chief Justice Marshall in presence of civil and military officers and a vast concourse of citizens. Lafayette said the statue was a facsimile of Washington's person. Dramatic natural lighting on the statue is achieved by the skylights in the rotunda's ceiling. Houdon's statue alludes to the similarities between Washington and the ancient Roman general Cincinnatus, who, when Rome no longer needed him, gave up his military power and returned to the simple life of a farmer. The artist carefully balanced the military and civilian elements of Washington's career. His sword is by his side, and he rests his left hand on a fasces, a bundle of rods, which was the Roman symbol of power. But he carries a civilian walking cane and stands next to a plow. Washington wears his Revolutionary uniform, but his head is uncovered, and his facial expression is fatherly. Houdon's monument to America's foremost hero recalls Washington's life as a soldier, statesman, and private citizen. The Houdon statue holds great importance because it is the authoritative likeness of Washington, and no other castings and measurements were taken of him. Many artists wished to make casts and moldings from the statue. There were a total of 33 replicas produced of the Houdon statue, each of which caused some damage to the original. As a result, in 1910, the Virginia General Assembly passed a bill banning any future castings from the Houdon statue. As reported in an 1866 newspaper story, the statue was damaged in a pistol duel that caused some cracking of Washington's cane and tassel. To learn more about the items in this room, please click on the Explore This Room button on the right.